warning for Metro Vancouver has been lifted, but not before trees were downed and power lines were knocked out, cutting service to tens of thousands of BC Hydro customers overnight. At the height of last night's winds, about 72,000 homes and businesses on the Lower Mainland and the Sunshine Coast lost electricity. In Vancouver, the lights were out for residents on Kingsway between Nanaimo and Victoria until the wee hours of this morning, in many areas of the downtown core as well. Hydro says power for some customers may not be restored until later this morning. The same storm also walloped Washington State, with 75,000 people in Puget Sound in the dark at one point. The price you pay at the pump continues to tank this week as oil prices have fallen to their lowest level in more than 5 years. Andrea McPherson joins us live from Vancouver with more on that this morning. Andrea.
Good morning, Kyle. Yeah, the last time you saw prices this low at the pump around mid-2009. Driving around Vancouver overnight, prices at the pump around $1.09, even $1.08 a liter. Head on out to the Fraser Valley, things drop even further. According to GasBuddy.com this morning, the average price is about $1.04.9 a liter. Drivers certainly pleased by all of this. How much money do you think you're saving with every fill?
Every fill, because most of the time our consumption is between 30 to 35 sometimes. So now, in percentage, if you can say around 20%, 20 to 25%, we are easily saving.
No, it's nice. You can go get a coffee or whatever. It doesn't feel so bad filling up.
The price of oil has actually been below $60 a barrel. That's down about 44% over the last 6 months. And it's good news for drivers trying to fill up this morning. Kyle.
Go fill up your gas tank, Andrea. All right, Andrea joining us live this morning from Vancouver. Now, as the price of oil falls, so too does the Canadian dollar. The loonie is sensitive to the price of oil and other resources that Canada exports. The dollar lost more than 1/3 of a cent yesterday to close at a 5.5-year low. This morning, it was down almost 1/5 of a cent, and at one point, it was trading at 86.60 cents U.S. We're learning more about a young murder victim after the first court appearance of her own mother. An emotional Lisa Batstone appeared in court yesterday, charged with the second-degree murder of her only child, her daughter Tegan. The 41-year-old cried in the prisoner's box while her lawyer asked for Batstone to receive medical and psychiatric attention. The body of 8-year-old Tegan was found in the trunk of a car on Wednesday in South Surrey. Police were called when the vehicle got stuck in a ditch. Investigators believe the girl was dead before being taken to the area. Now, Tegan's father has reacted to his daughter's death from Ottawa. On Twitter, he wrote, quote, "Life will never be the same after losing my daughter to murder. Our family courts and thus we all failed." He also shared a link to a slideshow featuring Tegan on the website Fathers Empowering Daughters. The organization is aimed at investing in girls and women around the world. More than 7 years after the Surrey 6 homicides, the families of the victims will finally get a chance to tell two of the killers how much they lost that day. Cody Havisher and Matthew Johnston automatically face life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. Today, family members will read out victim impact statements when both men are sentenced for first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. As driving conditions remain challenging, two members of the Vancouver Police Department are the latest victims of a pedestrian accident. The officers were crossing Broadway at Mackenzie late yesterday afternoon. The on-duty constables were hit in the crosswalk by a westbound minivan. Both were taken to hospital but later were released, neither of them seriously injured. The driver did stay on scene and is cooperating with police. Vancouver police want the driver involved in a fatal hit-and-run to come forward. The person was behind the wheel on Wednesday night when a woman was hit on Main Street between Cordova and Powell. Investigators are hoping surveillance footage helps them find the driver.
We do have a good description of the vehicle as well as of the driver. Again, we are canvassing the area. And for investigative reasons right now, just for the next little while, we want to, for the integrity of that information, as we talk to new witnesses, we don't want to give that out.
New Westminster police are still looking for the driver that hit and killed a woman on Wednesday night. The 52-year-old was struck on Brunette between Keary and Columbia. The suspect vehicle is a tractor trailer, but police aren't sure if the driver realized they were involved in an accident. Trinity Western can still teach law if it likes, but a decision from the province will make the university's legal degrees meaningless. The government has revoked its consent, initially granted a year ago. This comes a month after the BC Law Society also reversed course after lawyers voted 74% against the school. At issue is Trinity Western's stance against same-sex relationships. The university is disappointed in the province's decision, indicating it will appeal the matter.